Well, it's a quick walk around video for a Honda CR-V. This is a 2.2 EX diesel. Fabulous looking car. It's 2008 with 86,000 miles on the clock, but being fitted with a number of accessories, including these beautiful 5-spoke Honda alloys, genuine article, big side steps, substantial ones as well, and the rear spoiler, all really add up to a simply lovely looking car. Car's in absolutely fantastic condition. Unfortunately, I've had to do it on a wetter day, and that isn't out of design or otherwise. I've got so much pressure to do as many videos as I can for customers that unfortunately with our weather I can't pick and choose, but I tend to pick the cleaner ones on days like today because they're hiding virtually nothing. Lenses on the front, all absolutely spot on. Stone chipping is absolutely minimal on the car. Worth pointing out, I always have the engines running on the videos, and they always sound a lot noisier on the videos than they do actually when you're stood here. So I ask you to bear that in mind. Panel work is incredibly clean and crisp. I can't see any indentations down the side. Front tyre has got absolutely tons and tons of tread on it, and the alloys in generally very good condition. Just a tiny bit of lack of peel just down there, but they are original, so I didn't want to get them painted or anything, just that they're left as they are. I think they're all the better for it. So, you know, given the fact that it's what we're looking at, sort of 6 years old now. No, 8 years old rather. Sorry. You know, the paintwork is incredibly good. That isn't to say it hasn't got the odd minor mark on it. Of course it has, and that's what makes it original. But it is age, mileage, and given the fact that it is black, it's in exceptional condition. Rear alloy, absolutely beautiful, and tyre has got tons and tons of tread on it. My favourite angle for these CR-Vs with the spoilers is that angle there, because it's such a good looking car. When they've got the spoiler and those bigger alloys and the side steps, it just transforms the look of the car. You know, you can buy cheaper standard ones, but they're much harder to sell on. Exterior of the car, rear of the car, again, absolutely superb condition. Near side of the vehicle, right, coming to the boot of the car now. It's got its full complement of equipment back here, quite massive boot, tonneau cover on the top. Those top parts extend out to the headrest there, obviously. You just pop that down, back it goes, and you can just pop those off if you want to take it out. Middle shelf, as I say in all of them, you know, it's nice that it's here. I don't ever use them, I must admit. I find they get in the way, but I know a lot of people do like them. You can then lift that up to give you access underneath if you so wish, or if you notice there, the recessed shape is identical to that shape there. So what you do, what I would do with mine, I lay them flat underneath, so it then just leaves this absolutely quite enormous boot back there. Coming to the interior of the car now, so it's got this really lovely lighter interior, which I set up, you know, as I say in the following Rotus video, initially I wasn't sold on, but having had a couple with this light interior, it really does brighten them up. Massive amount of rear leg room on the car, and the interior condition is one of the very best I've ever seen. Carpets are all in wonderful condition. Just, it's got a couple of marks on the door handles, which is quite normal on them. You can get them painted, but it has got a couple of marks, so just kind of, they just see them on there. It's usually rings and little bits and bobs that sort of catch on them. Leatherwork is absolutely superb, it really is. Underneath here, there's a little handle somewhere, just put my hand there we go. If you pull that lever up like a conventional seat, you can pull the rear seats actually forward a good sort of 6 or 7 inches to free up even more boot space. So you end up with an absolutely massive boot. And on the little tabs here, you can put those at different angles as well, and they flip and fold down so easily. Coming to the front of the vehicle now, driver's door card, absolutely super condition, it really is. Sill area, all spot on. Driver's seat, superb condition, as with the rest of the car. Bolsters, all absolutely fine, no wear on those apart from, you know, the normal, but all the leatherwork's beautiful, the bolsters solid on there. Passenger seat, again, in equally good condition. Right, so sat in the car now, engine's running as it has been all the way through, just to pan around, but the dashboard is in wonderful, wonderful condition. So it's not always the case with CRVs, you know, they can be sort of scagged and marked by interior, by kids sort of bashing them, but you can see there, sat-nav system all fully functional. Pop it into reverse, and then you've got crystal clear rear parking camera as well. Climate control works absolutely beautifully, pumps out absolutely ice cold air. The only wear on this car that I can see on the inside of any note, very common on the CRVs, just around the gator there. It's where sort of people's rings and bracelets sort of hang down and they just touch on the leather. You can sort of colour them in. You can get replacement ones from Honda, believe it or not. They come with the whole plastic surround there, and they'll charge you well over 150 quid, I think, from memory, which is obscene. Or you can buy if you're keen at doing these things yourself, those just pop off really easily, and you can get little new leather parts from eBay for about 10 or 15 pounds. Coming to the centre here, cup holder area, heated seats work absolutely perfectly. I tried those out and they're all absolutely spot on. Coming across to the dashboard, just panning there, 88,726 miles, no warning lights on the dashboard at all. This video was done actually after the following road test videos, just the way they're edited, so it'll be slightly higher than the video that follows. Auto lights, auto wipers, multifunction steering wheel, all fully operational from everything that I've pressed thus far on the vehicle. And then we've got electric wing mirrors and obviously electric window adjustment there as well, but all in absolutely super condition. Finally, just to show you, got the original Honda locking wheel nuts for the vehicle here and intact, and you've got the owner's manual there for the car, which has got both the car manual and the sat-nav manual for the vehicle. What will follow in a couple of seconds will be a short road test of the vehicle. Right, this is a quick road test video. This is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 EX diesel. This particular car is registered SK08GZC, and mileage at the start of the brief road test is 86,719 miles. The reason we do the road test, as I always say, is basically we're selling now to customers from all over the near continent and clearly all over the UK as well, and we just want people to see the cars in operation prior to coming to see us. So if there's any issues with the car, I can let you know about them prior to coming. Worth pointing out also that we do the road tests on exactly the same roads locally as any prospective buyer may well be driving on, and obviously that should then mean this is reflective or representative rather of obviously how you should feel yourself when you drive the car. What I always do is obviously start with the engine of the car and then work through the various sort of functions of the vehicle, and I'll sort of feedback anything I can to you. Engine starts, first turn of the key, settles to a very, very even idle. It does, I drove it the other night, pulls very, very well indeed. They're great engine, perfectly suited this size of car. You know, you're looking at in normal driving style, you know, on a cross section of roads in a 43 to the gallon. You can obviously get less than that if you don't drive them as they should, or you can get a lot more than that as well. So, but you know, 43 is what the manufacturers claim, and it does seem to be a claim that's sort of met by most customers. There's no warning lights on the car apart from the low fuel light, but the engine is, you know, is a very nice example of one of these. It's got no sort of strange noises, whines or moans that shouldn't be there, and it's, you know, got all the horses seem to be under the bonnet still. It's got, you know, plenty of grunt to it, and it's a very, very nice example of one of these cars. Clutch on the car, light as a feather, very, very smooth in operation. Clutch pedals utterly silent. There's no squeaks or clicks or when you push the clutch in or out. Bites absolutely beautifully. You know, it's you know, it's not only smooth in operation, but you put your foot down, it grips and pulls really nicely. So, but its actuation's brilliant. The bite point's perfect, absolutely. They're exactly on the right spot of the clutch. The clutch then goes through to the 6-speed gearbox. Another you know, classically wonderful Honda gearbox, and I eulogise about them, and I feel rightly so. You know, it's a lesson to other manufacturers on how to sort of get gear changes right. The gear levers mounted up nice and high. But it's the quality of change, really. Even though obviously it's cables through to the gearbox itself, you've got a nice positive action to the gear lever. But the synchro mesh is brilliantly done on these Hondas. They really judge it very well indeed. But they've got kind of short, snappy gear changes, rather than kind of these. Sometimes you get sort of horrible kind of vague gear changes on lots of cars. But this one, it's really nice. It's just very nice, short actions. It selects its next gear perfectly. The springing is really clever. Encourages you to go through to the next gear change. It's just very simple indeed. But I can't detect any wear in the linkage. All feels very good indeed. You know, it's obviously done 80,000 miles, but the gear linkage would suggest otherwise. It's very tight and taut. So in terms of engine, gearbox and clutch, absolutely spot on. You know, the car drives beautifully. As I'm driving along, listening out for kind of noises that shouldn't be there, wind noise or otherwise, but it's very subdued, very quiet in here. So there's no kind of, I'd imagine there's no damage seals or otherwise on there. Car tracks bullet straight. There's no vibrations coming back through the steering of the car at all, and it all feels nice and tight and taut. Again, no wear or slop in the steering at all there. Suspension of the car, even though it's on the bigger 19-inch alloys, you know, it still rides very comfortably indeed. When I'm going over the bumps, I am just kind of feeling out for, you know, any, you can go over a bump there, but I can't feel any kind of chattering underneath. So things like drop links and suspension struts would seem to all be in very good order indeed. Brakes on the car, again, lovely brake pedal. It's all very good actually. It's been very well looked after, so it doesn't come as any great surprise. But the brake pedal is lovely and firm on the car. There's no pulsing or grinding from the brakes or otherwise. You know, we check these things anyway. But you know, the point of the road test is to pick up on any kind of deficiencies that might be that we may have to attend to, as I've done on previous videos. But again, that's all in very fine fettle indeed. Checking the cruise control function here, just set it there. We're going to accelerate and slow it down by using the button. Again, all working absolutely beautifully as well. Looking around inside the car, really lovely condition in here. I'm going to be brutally honest, a few years ago I wasn't a huge fan of the lighter interiors. I hadn't really owned one, but I have recently. I've got had two. It just brightens up the whole of the inside of the car. It really does, but it's done tastefully. It's, you know, kind of half and half on there, but it's the condition. It's just really well kept. Any markings or marks to the plastics are very few and far between. It shows very little sign of wear. The quality of construction of these cars is quite extraordinary. They are beautifully built cars. There's not a squeak or a rattle for the interior, not that you'd expect it to. So I'll just turn the lights on there because it's got a bit foggy. And I'll just change on there if I can the brightness on there. There we go. Oops, it's gone too far. There we are. So, but yeah, it's all, you know, it is very well made. One thing I've picked up on, that's why I do the tight turn on the CR-Vs. It's got a little bit of a vibration on a hard lock, so what we'll do is a rear differential flush, and that gets rid of that completely. So it takes about 10 minutes, but it's something you do periodically on them, and it'll be absolutely fine. So that's good. At least I found something, which is the whole point of what I'm doing this. But no, the interior is wonderful condition. As you can see there, big, fully operational sat-nav system, dead easy to use. Climate control system works beautifully. Although it's cold this morning, I did have the air conditioning on a couple of days ago, and it works absolutely perfectly. As do the heated seats, because I've got them on now, because it's a chilly old morning. It's frosty this morning. look into the main binnacle of the car, say no warning lights, lovely, clear, legible dashboard. But everything I pressed has worked absolutely beautifully. It really has. It drives fantastically well. You know, that's the point of video, is to give you feedback on the car. The only thing I can find, as I said, a little bit of vibration when you're on a hard lock. It's very, very common on them. It's not a fault, don't worry, it's just a maintenance thing. And we'll put new Honda rear differential oil in, and that'll get rid of that 100% for another 80 or 90,000 miles. But all in all, a wonderful example of a really, really lovely car.